If you have a question, ask a qualified professional. In this age of the internet, we have easy access to so much information that sometimes we forget to check where it comes from. So we wanted to create this new series that is, if you have a question, ask a qualified professional. The question for today is, do we ice a sprain or an injury? And I wanted to invite Victoria Roper to answer this question because I guess most of you've heard one day you have a little injury or a sprain, and the first question that everybody says, do you have some ice?
Hello, I have some ice. I don't have ice.
Do you have some ice?
I liked your what did you say to me yesterday? I only want rice in my sushi.
Well, I decided to call it do we ice a sprain because I'm not sure everybody's familiar with the term rice. I think it's more the medical people, physiotherapists, all of that. You guys are familiar with rice, but I'm not sure the non-technical people are aware of it. But before we start, because this series is called Do Ask a Qualified Professional, what qualifies you from answering this question?
I'm not really that sure. But if I have to go with letters after the name, then I'll pick the BSE ones, which it sounds like a mad cow disease, but it's actually a degree in sports therapy. So treating and rehabilitating injuries and working in the clinic.
But have you treated and rehabilitated people, or do they get worse after seeing you?
You'll have to ask my clients. No, I think,
I was one of them, so I think I can answer.
there you go. It's a good 50-50 if you get better or get worse.
Mm-hmm. Because it depends on many things, actually.
It does. A lot of it is us not fixing the client, us being the facilitator. It's up to the clients really to fix themselves with the tools that we give them.
Yeah, and I've been there, and I've been told by my physiotherapist to do lots of exercises, and every time I was coming back, it's like, yeah, I was doing my exercises.
Exactly,
lie,
right?
lie.
Yeah, and but we can tell.
I know, I could see it. But that was a fun game.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
now that we've clarified that you can answer this question, let's ask the question. After a sprain or an injury, you start having inflammation. Do you ice?
So first things first, you need to make sure that there's nothing that needs urgent medical attention. Like it's not fractured. There's nothing else going on there. Once you've ascertained that.
How would I know?
If you're unable to wait there, it's excruciatingly painful. I think some people as well like to go to the emergency room just for kind of peace of mind that nothing more serious is going on. Because remember, soft tissue damage can sometimes be as irritating as a fracture. It can sometimes be as painful as a fracture, and can sometimes the rehabilitation of soft tissue can be as long as, if not longer than, a fracture.
Okay.
So it's not really a problem, but with ice, what it does is it momentarily makes it maybe feel better. A lot of people would rather feel the cold than the pain. So from a pain gate theory or cycle, it can help. However, what it does do is interrupts the actual healing process of the body. So similar to the way that anti-inflammatories would interrupt the natural healing process of the body. And that's why now anti-inflammatories within the first 3 to 4 days of an injury are not recommended. The same as ice. What's actually better is a bit of compression, movement. Elevation is not ruled out, but we want to avoid resting it. We actually want to get the environment around there working and pumping and giving the body the best environment in which to heal.
And where does that come from, that idea of icing?
Icing's pretty old school. I can't remember the exact date or the exact guy's name. There's some good studies out there that have looked at that. But yeah, icing was definitely something that I was taught. We were taught at university, what was this, 2002 even, cryotherapy, which was surrounding the joint in a cushion-filled, fluid-filled cushion, if you like, filled and replenished.
A lot of dentists are still using cryotherapy. A lot. I see it everywhere. They have this very expensive boots that they buy, and then they have it at home. And
exactly. Yeah, and actually, the studies that you read say that the depth of what the tissue that's injured, the cold is never going to get to that. So in actual fact, it's more of a kind of placebo effect than anything. Um, so
Paul
no,
is helping you with your memory, saying
Paul's
1970.
helping
Thank
me
you, Paul, for joining.
with my
19.
history.
You can
Thanks,
join in
Paul.
actually if you want. You can request.
Can we?
1978, Dr. Merkin.
There you go. So that's where it came from. But obviously, things have progressed since 1978, or one would hope, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So go with the flow and what we already know, not what we
yeah.
used to know.
So when you look at the stages of healing, you've got that initial inflammatory response, which is roughly 4 to 6 days, followed by the proliferation stage, followed by the remodeling stage. And
And
those
all of this is your body healing the best way it knows how to.
absolutely right, without intervention. So the inflammatory stage is exactly what it says on the packet. We need to allow that inflammation to take place in order for the body to move on to the next phase of healing.
Mm-hmm.
And if we start intervening with external factors like ice, like anti-inflammatories, like anything else, that anything that interrupts that natural process is going to work against what the body's wanting to do.
Okay, so next time we have a sprain or an injury, the first question shouldn't be, do we have ice, but is it broken?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, rule out any fractures, anything. I mean, there's certain little tests you can do, but generally, there's a test called, if it's an ankle, Ottawa rules, where you palpate different bony landmarks. But generally, I go by weight bearing. Yeah. If you're really struggling to weight bear, either immediately after the injury or 24 hours after the injury, it's just go to the room and get an X-ray. It's just easier, and at least that puts your mind at rest as well.
And then, so what else do we do? Do we just let it be?
So you can elevate it. You want to work it through the range of motion that you have, because remember what the swelling's going to do, and it will swell. That's natural. That's part of the process. Imagine this is the ankle, is it's going to swell up and it's going to restrict that range of motion. So you're going to need to work through that to keep the range of motion that you do have, even if it decreases slightly with the swelling. Keep it elevated. Try to weight bear if you can. Obviously, if you can't, then that's when you need to get it further. And yeah, keep the momentum
and monitor to make sure it doesn't get worse. Or
monitor, exactly. Yeah. If it's, I've treated many ankles before where the client or the patient has gone for an X-ray, the fracture's been missed. They've then been sent to rehab, and the fracture's been missed not through any fault of the physicians looking at the X-ray, but because of the swelling. The fracture's been missed, and then the physio goes ahead with quite aggressive rehab because they've been told there's no fracture there. Weeks later, the ankle's still blowing up, and actually there was an avulsion fracture or a small hairline fracture there. Now that's no one's fault. These things do happen, but if it's still swelling quite aggressively 6 weeks after the initial injury, then yes, then something else is going on there, and we need
definitely
to look.
Okay, so no more ice. Done.
What
do I do with my ice pack?
What do you do with your ice pack? You can use it on your head when you've got a hangover.
For my I don't drink. You missed the joke. You missed the joke.
The joke's on me then. Send it to me. I drink.
But so if inflammation is the natural response of the body, would a hot pack be better?
This one's a bit controversial. So and it depends on the person. So what heat will do is help the environment in some people to feel like it's easier to move through there. But for me, I personally like keeping things body temperature. Obviously, it depends what country you live in as well. Body temperature and moving through that. But I know
we've been in the hit, you and I.
Yeah, exactly. But I know plenty of physios that use heat in the sessions to kind of loosen up things, relax the muscles to get the movement. So if the heat works for you, but I would use that later on in the healing.
Okay. So just rest, stop dancing, please.
Although I'm not an advocate of complete rest.
No, I mean, just at the moment, I'm really talking about the few hours after your sprain, and it's a pretty bad one, not the small, just.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to focus on any kind of movement where you're not weight bearing. So you're
Okay.
just ankle circles, pulling it up towards you. You could encourage it with a TheraBand, something like that, but I
Hmm.
wouldn't push too hard because the body takes time to heal.
Yeah. So I remember twisting my thumb a couple of weeks ago and actually decided to use all of these techniques. And everybody was looking at me like, no, you need to put some ice. I was like,
No,
I'll be
and
fine. And I was moving my thumb, but just a little bit.
yeah,
It was also to check. Actually, it was for me. It was to keep it moving, but it was also to check how bad it was,
mm,
and that was also reassuring to feel that well, actually it's fine. It's just sprained.
mm, yeah.
Paul is asking what is swelling. Oh, is that a test?
Is that it? Probably is. No,
Are you on a test, Victoria?
exactly. Swelling is fluid, right? It's fluid in the area, and it's there, but it's there to protect the area.
Mm-hmm.
The body sees the body. No, the body's not stupid. It's a smart piece of kit. No. But this is for me and my training. See, this is where Paul and I disagree. Get Paul on.
I'm gonna get him on because this is not gonna go anywhere with messages.
Can we do that on here? No.
If he accepts it, he's not available. He's not available. Also, he's saying no, you're not on a like it's not a test. He's just asking your viewpoint.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's the body trying to stop its movement, right? To stop you doing more damage.
Okay. So we need to respect all of this. Basically, there's one thing. Just sorry guys, we're laughing because Paul is saying he's not available in his own way.
Yeah.
So the bottom line, it's really hard to do live with you too. The bottom line of all of this conversation is that what is happening is a natural response of your body to the injury. You need to allow it to happen because your body knows how to heal better than your anti-inflammatory. And monitor in case it gets worse, then you need to go and see a physician. But otherwise, you can just wait and let it work.
Oh.
Don't know if your mom is joining. This is just like, this is the end. I think this is the end of this discussion because we've answered the question and we wanted to keep it short and sweet. And this is getting out of control with all these Dubai people. I miss you guys. I miss you all.
I don't miss either of them at all.
You live with one of them. I want to thank you so much, Victoria. First of all, because I had screwed up on the timing. So thank you for joining in at last minute notice. I want to thank you for your kindness and your patience with Paul being on the call. And most of all, I want to thank you for answering the question. That was great.
Okay. You're welcome. I'll see you soon.
See you. Bye-bye.